Welcome to the Pillar of Salt podcast, where there is no topic and we have no plan. My name is Hank. With me, as always, is Ben.
Yo.
Hi.
Yeah. I mean, we were having a solid convo before hitting record. So
It's true. Mistakes were made.
it's a great way to kill the vibe.
And technically, we did have a plan, but then I decided Wonder Woman was too boring a movie to...
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. And we were gonna do Wonder Woman 84 and then pair it with a Wonder Woman comic I had stumbled upon that seemed cool, Wonder Woman Dead Earth, but that is apparently also very short, so we're gonna lump that in with probably other comic things, I would say.
Yeah.
Revisit it later.
I have thoughts.
Nice. So yeah, it's we're almost at the end. We're almost there.
Okay, it's true. We're recording this. We have not yet escaped 2020, but
Not like
it's on the other side of the tunnel.
I mean, the light is just the start to another garbage tunnel. So
It's true.
it does. I'm getting a little sick of people being like, I still see
Yeah.
slightly more people saying like, oh, 2020's over, than there's still a lot of people who are like on our side, like it's not going to get better, guys. But I still see more of the former group, unfortunately.
It's like you walk out of a tunnel and you step into the light, and then there's like a 1 foot gap, and then there's another tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. But I mean,
But it'll be a whole different year.
yeah.
That doesn't really mean anything, but it sure will be a different one.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just been, everything is just it's all muddy. It's muddy is what it is. I at least
things
wish.
are bad.
Do you guys have snow right now? Like
Right
good,
now,
like
no.
good.
We had
Okay.
a big snowstorm this year, though. We did have a solid snow.
See,
Are you mad you have no snow?
I mean, we had a bit of snow for Christmas, but Christmas didn't feel like Christmas for other reasons. Now, New Year's, like, I'll be with Anya and her family and everything. Like, we'll have our big dinner and exchange some gifts. So it feels much more like the holiday, but now there's no snow and anything. So you step outside and there's like a depressing little Christmas tree, like, surrounded by mud and cement. And it's just gross.
I don't know. At this point, snow is just a thing I have to walk home through.
I definitely do feel that. That's how I felt last year, because we had no snow, but I was still walking around everywhere, and it was amazing because the sidewalks were dry, and I didn't feel like I was going to crack my spine on the metro stairs.
Yeah, when it snowed here, I had to walk home from work in it.
Yeah, that's no good.
Like
That's
I
not
had to put my glasses away because like they actually were just I couldn't see anything.
Fuck yeah.
It's like all blowing in my face. This is a situation where I'll say like wearing a mask keeps your face
It
a
does.
little warmer.
It does. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Not that I was running into people out there anyway, but
God, there was.
I'm just used to it at this point.
It's actually, I mean, because it's New Year's Eve and it was like 10 a.m. The streets were pretty deserted. God, there was still like, it's always the people who are out and about, Like there was this lady in front of us had the mask on her chin, like not wearing it, and she was like hacking and coughing into her hands, and I'm like, I swear to God.
She didn't want to cough into our mask. Ben.
Yeah, it's
That would be
gross. Just the worst.
Damn. Those people that like their brain just can't process that you're wearing the mask because when you're interacting people and like they just want to take it off when they go up to talk to you
Yeah. Yep.
so that you can hear them.
I mean, I did like if we're walking around and we take like a little back way and there's literally nobody, like we'll lower our masks, and then if we see like a group of people or something, we just pull them back up. But like,
Yeah, I used to do that, but I just don't anymore.
I mean, the only reason we do is because we're talking. Like even today,
All the more reason to keep it up.
oh,
Again,
yeah, but it's just us.
intuitively,
It's just us though. Like if there's literally nobody around. If there's any people, it's immediate. Like if we see people, then we.
yeah. Like it's partially like it's like really rare for like there actually to be nobody around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Except when I'm walking home, like sometimes, but
I mean, hey, you're walking here.
then it's colder, so cover my face anyway at this point.
Yeah. No, I've done that on a.
Just stick a heating pad in there.
I mean, you got to get like a nice permanent mask. Not permanent, but not like fucking
Permanent.
Bane. You're not Bane out here, but like
Just sew my mouth
like
shut. You got a piece of
like
leather.
a beefier
and, like,
mask.
really stitch that in.
A beefier mask. You know, you could get a little heating thing. Maybe like a little snack
Electric
dispenser.
mask. Coal mask powered by coal.
Coal mask.
Has a little chimney.
2-stroke.
Puff of smoke.
Little 2-stroke motor.
Poofing out.
Roll up to the gas station. Man.
Gotta fill up my mask.
Gotta fill up my mask. Is it a pull start? Do you start it like you would start a chainsaw?
Oh yeah, definitely. You're putting a like a lawnmower on your face. So.
God bless. It's a smell from my childhood.
Oh,
Like 2-stroke and cut grass. Man, speaking of mask, I did want to mention I want to talk about it badly because I just binged through all of Harley Quinn. And it was great. That's kind of what prompted me. Like they were dropping some names, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like the only reason I know who this person is because it was one of the comics for the podcast. Like that's fucking wild. And it's like a one-off scene. It's not like a staple character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I seriously enjoyed it. But they I guess I don't know which is more I was going to say accurate, but that's not even the right word. I guess they have Bane as a character in this series, and they really lean into his voice. Like it sounds like someone just doing like a garbage parody of Bane from the Batman movies, like the recent ones. And
Well,
it's great.
Of like
Oh,
so he's Scottish?
we need to do this.
Uh-huh.
Ah, that hurts my feelings. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
he looks way different, and like he's doing all this stuff that, I mean, it seemed more like a comic book villain instead of just
Does
a
he look
dude.
like a luchador? Or...
Yeah.
Because that's what he's comic book. Like
looks-
he basically has like a luchador mask.
Yeah, he looks like that. I mean, he kind of has like a full body suit thing going, but like yeah, that's kind of the style. And then he has like,
Because I think he's like I think it was like more closer to like a leotard is what he was.
yeah, that's kind of what it is, but not as odd looking, I guess.
Yeah. And then
but-
he's like souped up on
Yeah.
comic book steroids.
Yeah, he has the things that, and like occasionally you'd like press the button and just like he hulks out, like he just gets huge. And I'm like, you know what? That would have been cooler than just a dude in a mask.
I mean, they did that version of Bane poorly. in Batman and Robin, the movie.
Hell yeah.
But that movie's terrible. And he's like, there is a scene where he wears like a fedora and trench coat in that movie, but on top of his mask.
I
Because
also,
that's the kind of movie that is.
yeah, pretty good. Also,
But like the whole thing with Bane is like, when he was introduced, is like he outsmarts Batman, and also he's high on this steroid drug that they had had Batman get hooked on previously.
hell yeah.
It was called Venom. They'd done a Venom storyline in Batman already. So that was kind of set up.
Gotcha.
And then he like shows up, outsmarts Batman, and fucking breaks his spine. And then there has to be a different Batman.
Gotcha.
Azrael becomes Batman.
Okay. Yeah.
That story is Nightfall, but yeah.
They also have. Well, I've been
Get it?
watching.
Night.
I watched Harley
This is the
Quinn.
Dark Knight. Uh-huh. Yeah, Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, and then like I've also been doing the DC superhero girls, and it's like it's interesting the different takes. Like, I mean, Poison Ivy, for example. I'm curious which one is closer, like historically, to her character. So, in Harley Quinn, like she's fairly chill. Like, in terms of being an eco-terrorist, like she's existing. You know, when you're trying to change the systems you live in, you still have to live in those systems, right? And it's fine. And in DC DC Supergirls, she's like, there's a scene where all like because the idea is that, you know, they're all teenagers in school and they don't know each other's identities, so like Green Lantern and Poison Ivy are friends because Green Lantern's like a hippie, but Poison Ivy is like so far down that hole that like they started a campfire in the woods and they're like doing these vegan kebabs that they're roasting, and you see things from Poison Ivy's perspective, and like all of the branches and vegetables are just screaming in agony. And I'm like, that's fine, but how are you wearing clothes right now, or like existing and going to
Almost
school?
like that cartoon is exaggerating things.
I
because
know,
it's a
but it's
cartoon for babies about
wow,
these characters.
wow. Look, I watch it
as
for the
school
animation.
children.
Okay, that's the excuse with Lauren Foss cartoons, right? Still decent.
I mean, I liked Foster's Home for the Imaginary Friend. She worked on that.
Look, I just like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the fish out of water. Like, that's the introduction. They have to teach her how to be like a normal student instead of a fucking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Amazon
big
warrior.
fish out of water plot in that new Wonder Woman movie, so maybe I'll like that.
Who's the
Chris
fish?
Pine has
Who's
to try on clothes.
who's trying on clothes?
Chris Pine, dude who died in the first movie.
I don't even remember who that would be.
Her love interest.
Yeah, generic white male.
Uh-huh.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Of course.
Kirk and the new Star Trek movies.
I barely,
J.J. Abrams
I know that it's different, but I still just picture a young William Shatner, except in modern cinematography situations.
Okay.
Like, I've seen the new Star Trek movies, or some of them. I just don't. Didn't he bang a green chick?
Yes. Like
Yeah.
the very beginning of the first one, I think.
Yeah, I remember that scene quite vividly. So everything else is a little foggy. Like old Spock shows up, right?
Yeah.
Do they actually have?
Leonard Nimoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was before Leonard Nimoy died.
Right. I don't know.
He was old at this point.
I guess. When did that movie come out?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I want to say like 2011,
Oh, Jesus.
but I could be wrong.
I still think if that's one of those weird ones, like when we mention it, I still feel like it was like just a couple years ago.
Nope, 2009.
Jesus. Oh my god, that's so much worse. That's so much worse somehow. I wasn't even driving yet. Oh.
Yeah,
I see that.
That movie's over a decade old.
Oh, that's I don't like that. Old Ben in a new year. Ugh. Disgusting.
Merry Christmas. That's my gift to you.
Well, that's there was I don't know if you saw it. It was a new cardboard crack or whatever. It was like making Magic players feel old. And it was like all these statistics, and one of them was like the first Magic the Gathering set is closer to the moon landing than it is to modern day, to like right now.
Yeah, sure.
Ugh. Magic always.
I mean, that checks out. I got into Magic with cards that are on the reserve list.
Yeah.
So,
I just Magic is like that's a big one for like fucking with my sense of time. Like I don't because when I initially got into it, it was like Return to Ravnica and like Dragon's Maze and that stuff. And then I was into it and I kind of like wavered for a little bit there, and I didn't realize like when I came back, like it seems like okay, there's probably like another set or two, and instead there was like 6 or 8 or something. Like I just didn't realize how long it had been. I mean fuck.
They put out like 3 sets a year.
Yeah. So when people talk about
and they put out more cards now than they did.
oh
then.
dude, if you took a year off right now, like
oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Especially if it's like like if you actually were into like the collection and like physical decks and everything. Good lord.
I mean, it would be a lot. There would be a lot of cards, but you'd probably be, I don't know. Honestly, it wouldn't be that big a deal. Like if you're trying to like keep up with historic, yes, but like I don't know. Other than that,
Yeah.
you'd have to like get into standard all over again. But that's like standard all the time. So
Yeah, no, standard is whatever.
and like with Commander or EDH, like they put out a lot of cards that are legal in that format, but how many of them really matter?
Yeah. Like how many of them matter, and then how many of them matter for you?
If you played Modern, your format was ruined. No. They did burn that one to the ground, basically.
Dude, I haven't heard anyone talk about Modern in a while.
Yeah. I mean, it still exists, but like all the old, like the new cards have like kind of made all the old decks irrelevant.
Yeah.
So it's a bad feeling kind of place, because it was such a like place for decks that really didn't change for a long time, and that's just not true anymore. Like
that's
got overhauled.
Yeah, that's what I just remember like seeing, because for a while there, you know, people acted like it was dead on arrival, like when Historic first came out, and it was literally, I mean, yeah, now they've added some backward stuff that like the Kaladesh and Amonkhet, whatever, but even so, like when it first came out, it only had like the standard shit basically, so it was about the same as standard, and now it's not. And it's been interesting watching like the competitive subreddit spikes. Like before it was all modern, and then it kind of shifted a little bit to Pioneer, but it was still like all standard and then like a mix of modern and Pioneer. And now it's like basically almost an even split between standard and historic. Well, still heavier to standard a bit, but like modern is just falling off. Like, unless there's like tournament results or whatever.
those older formats, those are supported by people playing with paper cards, and you can't do that right now. And
Yeah, true.
MTGO kind of sucks.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like, it has way more to do with historic is on Arena and modern is not than anything else. Like, if
yeah,
modern were on Arena, people would play it. People would talk about it more.
yeah. I guess.
And also because, like, all the events, all, like, the big events run through Arena, too. Like, there are some for MTGO, but they're not nearly as popular or whatever.
Yeah.
The one that died was Pioneer. Pioneer was...
Pioneer was destroyed.
Yeah.
People were pumped. I think that one is like the biggest flip, maybe. Like people seemed
Because
really...
it was like... Yeah, they were really excited about it at the time.
Yeah.
And it was, like, fun for a while. And then it got really stale and Wizards stopped banning cards. And the meta got really... It meta became something fucking everyone hated. It was like like it was about these weird combo decks that weren't even that good, but they just made people not want to play it.
Yeah.
Wizards was like, these decks aren't even good. And people were like, yeah, fucking events aren't firing. Nobody's playing.
Ugh.
It was weird.
That's gross.
It was a weird shift of like Pioneer brought all this life to MTGO, and then that they were like, oh right, it's MTGO. Never mind.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, maybe you maybe saw me mention, I started playing a little Battlegrounds again. Of the Hearthstone variety, not PUBG.
Yeah. I hate how much they lock behind their fucking battle pass.
Dude, have you
seen
the new shit now? So now
I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't seen it since the last thing was like if you buy in, you get to pick from like 4 heroes instead of like 2 or whatever.
Yeah, so the last time I checked anyway, I don't know how old this is, but yeah, for when I last played, like you could choose from 3 heroes and now it's 4.
Yeah, it was 4 when I last checked.
Okay. Yeah, so that's older than I assume. It's kind of tempted, like if I were to get back into it and play it a lot, it wouldn't be too bad, at least for me. I don't know what the USD price is. I don't know if they do regional pricing or to what extent, but it's like 600 rubles like for 4 months.
I don't think it's a lot, but I just fucking hate
it's annoying
that it's seasonal.
It's the fact that it's seasonal is bad, and the fact that it's based on their rotation is bad. If it were yearly, like Trackmania, the new Trackmania, that shit is like 400 rubles a year. And this Hearthstone wants me to drop 600 rubles every 4 months. Like, just if it was 1,000 rubles for a year, I'd be more likely to spend that even, I think. But I just can't justify 600 for 4 months, and then if I'm not consistent, I don't know. It just feels like shit.
Yeah, it's also like when I'm gonna play that game like for however many hours, like every 4 months.
Yeah. I'm
like,
not gonna be
like,
doing it consistently.
Yeah, it's like just enough time that's like really doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah,
to me. So
I would love, like,
I don't know.
I want to get it'd be so fun to get a group going.
Yeah,
I want to do it. I want to try that at least once.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's still fun. It's just if you're playing it a bunch of times in a row, you're just like, why the fucking hell it's like they made this so pay to winny.
Yeah.
Like locking your options behind that shit, I really don't like. I also don't like that they lock stats behind it either, but that was at least not gameplay affecting.
Yeah. They've changed how they market it though, or how they present it, cuz now they're like because that's still all you get is the 2 extra hero options and then your perks and emojis or whatever.
Yeah.
But
stats.
Yeah, but for their stats, they market it heavy. They're like, refine your strategy or something. Like, yeah. I won a game. I finally fucking won after getting my sea legs back. And the bartender bitch was like, "You could do even better next time. Refine your strategy." And I'm like, could I do better though? I took first pretty solidly. Like, it seems like I don't need these stats, my dude.
They're just. I just like stats.
I do as well. They're good stats. They're very like detailed. But
In Hades, at a certain point, you get to unlock a room of stats.
dude,
It's
that's
just
pretty
a
good.
stats room.
That's actually
It's like all the stats you could ever want.
dude, it's so good. That was a thing. What games was I playing? So Nova Drift has very good stats. Like they have very detailed, like even just for your, for your ship, I guess. Like you have this many shields exactly. They recharge at this rate, like that usual stuff. But then they add in like other shit, and I love that it keeps your top runs, so you can see your exact stats you had for like your top 10 or whatever. And then Monster Train was the other one I was noticing when I played the other day. Like the things that like you summoned more of this type of bullshit in this run than your previous best, and I'm like, ooh, it seems like you guys are tracking a lot. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as much as I love Isaac, what's your fire rate? 6. What does that mean? How have I done? What are my stats? Well, you lost this many times and you won this many times.
Yeah.
Ah, well. No, stat tracking.
That
is
stat
dope.
tracking, I feel like makes a lot of sense to me if you think about it. Like, if they built those tools while they're making the game to, like, figure out how to tune it better, whereas Isaac is just,
Fuck it.
Edmund, like, whatever.
Shitting on the keyboard.
Just making, like, it was, like, a project of volume more than...
Yeah.
There's just so much to it.
I mean,
just make sure things can interact.
The way he monetized
Just make
Four
sure there's
Souls,
synergies.
he might make it. He might give us detailed stats, and then we have to pay extra for it every couple of months.
Look, he just likes magic a lot.
So bad.
Yeah. And doesn't understand that he was making a board game, not a collectible card game.
Nah, you can do both. All you got to do is make everything.
Also,
foil.
like, I don't know, the board game market is garbage anyway. So it's not like he's unique in that fact.
And so I had this is reminding me, speaking of board games, Anya's brother went to a birthday party a while back now. As like as best you can, they're in such like, obviously, like Anya and her family have been extremely careful about masks and COVID and everything else. Like extremely careful, which is great. But like this was her brother's, I think it was like the first birthday party he was invited to, maybe. So like it was basically decided that we will accept this risk and everybody quarantine and all that stuff beforehand at least. So he did that up, and I guess they played her the birthday girl's mom. It was like him and a bunch of chicks, and I guess the birthday girl's mom hired some dude to run Dungeons and Dragons for them. So they did like a 5 or 6 hour campaign at this birthday party.
It's pretty good.
It's dope. I just would not expect. I guess it's something I never considered. Like, instead of a birthday clown, you hire a birthday DM.
DM.
It's pretty good. So now, but now
Seems like a good time.
Yeah, the problem is he had a good time. So now he's like, Ben, do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons? I'm like, well, yeah, I do. But I either have to DM or I need to find someone to DM, and either way, I feel like I'm gonna lose here.
Let's play the D&D board game.
The D&D board game would actually be a possible thing.
Yeah.
The only problem is
that DMs itself.
Is that fine with 2 players?
Yeah. I think they're adventures that are built for fewer players
Okay.
in there somewhere.
Because I started playing Four Souls once.
Because you'll spot on less monsters and stuff if you
Yeah.
have two people.
Yeah. We started playing Four Souls, and we played, like, it was me, Anya, her sister, and then her brother. And her brother was picking it up very quickly, and like is starting to enjoy it once he sort of got into the swing. You know, you get a few items, you start realizing what's going on. It feels good. Anya and her sister just checked out. They tapped out after like 10 minutes because they're not. It's not what they're about.
Oh,
So yeah, but like that game, I forget if Edmund has actually released like a proper co-op set of rules for that. I know it's been talked about extensively, but that would be sort of the thing.
yeah, that one doesn't. Two people, that's just kind of dumb.
If you're going against each other, it's just stupid.
Like the whole reason that thing is fun is because you have a group of 4 people doing it.
Yeah.
It's like trying to play one-on-one Commander.
I mean, I've
Just
done it.
missing the point. Just kind of misses the point, though.
Yeah. Yeah. On the other hand, I don't know. You know, our group's Commander games actually are pretty good. Pretty good for the most part. The games I've had in person have actually been kind of shit. Like they're just there's been a handful I could think of that have been good, but for the most part I'm like I'd rather just I think it's because like it was always just me and Jeremy and there was no one else. Like it would have been great to play with like Mike, for example, but he never really played with his cards because it turns out that's the best way to keep them in sellable condition. So
Needs those hard case sleeves.
I mean, some of them he probably did. I know Jeremy. He let Jeremy play with his commander deck once. That was wild. Like a fucking $20,000 deck or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you would build that into a deck.
I think just yeah. I mean, he never ever.
I mean, I'm at the point where like the cards in fucking my commander deck that I like building, that's just because I have them. I'm like, I don't. The anxiety of like bringing this somewhere,
Yeah,
is a lot.
Yeah,
It's not nothing.
I mean, I think he's kind of. I think it's kind of whatever, because like he just had. It's almost like just a fun way to showcase some of the stuff he has for sale.
Yeah, but not if you don't. I just mean not if you don't play them. Like at some point,
yeah.
it is you have to play it for it to be worth it.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's also just stuff that he had to sell for the most part, or that he was hanging on to. But it was great. Like Jeremy was like, "How do I shuffle it?" Mike's like, "You don't. I do." Every time Jeremy needs a shuffle, he's passing it over.
That's hilarious.
I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, no.
Let me ruin my thing.
Yeah. Again, wild
Or
to let someone else play with that deck.
I think my favorite,
if you feel like that about it.
my favorite story about a deck like that is these guys who've been playing for ages, like from the very beginning, and they never really sold any of their cards or shit, but like they didn't give a fuck about how valuable they were because they just liked the game.
Yeah.
So like they played Commander unsleeved with like their own rules, so they would play with like Power 9 and shit, but they just riffle shuffle. So it's just all beat to hell, and everyone else is like, how could you do that? Like these are worth, like this deck is probably worth like 10,000. And they're like, yeah, so it's cardboard.
Yeah, also if they're beat to hell, they're not worth that much.
I mean, even Power
Still
9
worth a lot.
Power 9 that's beat is still
Power 9
chunky.
is still worth a lot. Yeah.
But like, I mean, if you
It's still
bought,
probably
I think the problem, like, people have a disconnect, because like if I bought a Black Lotus now, yeah, fucking obviously I'm gonna treat it like I paid $10,000 for it or whatever. But if I bought a Black Lotus in like 94 or 93 or whatever, I'm going to treat it like I paid $3 for it or whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean, or you should sell it. Like,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah. If they're just gonna, if they just like their cards and they're never gonna sell them, like,
Yeah, no, that was the
matters.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if they're planning on turning them into like eventually selling them, then yeah, probably don't. But also, like, whatever, they're already beat to hell.
Yeah,
They're probably not actually gonna ruin any more value by ruffle shuffling them.
Yeah. Unless you're playing for ante. Then someone decides to draw a stick figure on them. Or they're that
hell yeah.
They're the they're the black there was like a Black Lotus that someone used as a like they needed another island, so they just wrote island in Sharpie on the Black Lotus. Like when they started, when they were 7 or whatever playing. So good.
It's pretty good. I mean, my friends did tell me like some random card that said, I think it said like untap target creature. They're like before I knew fucking any, like when I was introduced to the game, like I didn't have any lands. They're like, oh, you can use this, and then you don't have to have lands. I don't know where they got that in their head, but that is a thing they told me.
Hell yeah. Schoolyard rules.
Look, man, my friend came back from Canada and he had been introduced to Magic.
Wild.
That's how I learned. That's how I discovered the
fucking
joy.
Canada creating all those degenerates. How old were you? How old were you when Magic changed your life forever?
10? 11?
Okay.
Somewhere around there?
It's probably the same age I was when I got like into Yu-Gi-Oh, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there were kids my age who had gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh, but mostly it was kids who were like just a little bit younger than me.
Yeah,
when Yu-Gi-Oh came around.
Yeah, because that was the hot thing. See, that's Magic needed a TV show. I would have been there. It was really actually there
is some TV show that's like secretly Magic, I think, but
that sounds right. Oddly, like my school never got into like people at my school got into the Pokemon games and they got really into buying the Pokemon cards, but nobody played the card game. Everybody just collected.
Yeah, my experience with the Pokemon CCG was like, there was someone in my class who like had his whole racket of selling. Like he would buy a bunch, then he would sell singles, and then he would use it to buy more packs to sell more singles.
Hell yeah. With that hustle.
But yeah, I never saw anybody actually play that game.
No, to this day I have no idea. Yu-Gi-Oh, like we just played some fucked up rules. They were agreed upon by everyone, but I don't think they were anything close to correct. And I know we like.
Yeah, I didn't start playing Magic with actual rules till high school.
Mm-hmm. The thing
our rules were like draw 7 every turn.
Jesus, we weren't quite that bad.
You order your deck beforehand.
Well, like, yeah, you don't want to miss
card.
Yeah. You want to get those fat combos.
So there were cards that like we didn't understand why they were good, because shuffling your library seemed like that was a bad thing.
Well, if you're ordering your cards, yeah, that would really adjust the power level.
Like how is crop rotation fucking not just the worst card? I don't understand.
Well, see, it seems like in that meta, forcing your opponent to shuffle would be overpowered as all hell.
True. Also, we would play 2-on-1 because we decided black was clearly overpowered. So the
Well,
player playing black needed a handicap.
unbelievable.
They have cards that say destroy target creature, Ben. It's too powerful.
It is. That's
I
very
mean, actually,
strong.
they say destroy target non-black creature. Same thing, basically.
Yeah. God.
I also remember, like, I was thinking, like, ritual effects that just permanently added, like, the equivalent of lands to your hand.
God.
Also, you could play as many lands as you had in your hand.
Oh,
Just
yeah. Fuck yeah.
empty all
Just
your
dump
lands out
them.
at once. So we would
That's
spend
great.
hours building our decks, and our games would last, like, 2 minutes. Like, they would be over incredibly quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, that checks out.
Also, I then eventually discovered that blue was, like, completely busted.
Yeah.
Because I could play Zephid, and that creature can't be the target of spells or abilities, Ben. Unstoppable.
Jesus Christ. Mother of God.
Also, counterspell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the thing I remember, like, I don't remember the specific weird rules we had for Yu-Gi-Oh. I do remember that we wanted like the commander effect. We wanted games that were a little more intricate and lasted longer, right? Instead of playing like 4 short games, we could just play one big one. And the way we achieved this was just like making our like tripling our starting life and just playing with all of the cards we owned. So
Hell yeah.
my mom would like come downstairs in the morning when she woke up, and we'd be sitting with like a foot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards on either side of the table, like just going through it.
Nice.
It was ridiculous.
I did in high school once try to come up with rules to have a Magic deck fight a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Because I had friends that only played Yu-Gi-Oh, and I didn't have any Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I just wanted to come up with rules where I could like play with them.
Yeah.
So I tried. It didn't. So you have to like multiply all the numbers in Magic by 400
Yeah, that tracks.
in terms of like attack and defense and life. Was like the big one.
Yeah.
And then like you just ignore mana costs on your Magic card stuff to play them like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Mm-hmm.
I think. That's the theory anyway.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I'm sure there's someone out there who's made a decent rule set for that nonsense.
Yu-Gi-Oh's gotten like way more, as it's gone on. Like they're just all these weird new mechanics all the time. So I don't know anymore.
Well, I mean, that game can do whatever the fuck it wants when every card says exactly what it does in 2 paragraphs of text.
It's true. It's true.
That was probably my biggest turnoff with it by the end. Because like my cousin played Yu-Gi-Oh a bit, so we would like actually play. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All the Yu-Gi I played was in this GB8 game, and once I built the deck that could win on turn 1, it was hard to go back.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about that game any other way. It's like I was playing vintage. Just like, no, this is the strat. This is the way. This is how this game worked. And also the AI, like, these were strategies the AI would do. It was like, it wasn't completely out of the bounds. They just didn't, do it as consistently.
Yeah. Man, I remember like Jesus, it must have been like 4th grade. So yeah, it would have been like 9 or 10 or whatever. There was a kid, and then like into 5th grade, there was a kid who came to our school, and My school ended up getting a lot of foster kids because, and like troubled foster kids. Not to say all of them are bad, but like our school was in a good area, and it was like a nice school that was not like, it's not like we were preppy or expensive or anything. Like we were still in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, but you know, we were good. We didn't have like problems with drugs or violence or anything. So we often got kids that came from places or families that had problems with these or had them themselves, and like, well, we didn't have a drug problem until you came here, and now we're having a drug problem.
Are you saying they stole your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Ben?
No. There was this one kid, and he would always tell us about, like, in hindsight, just he was just like straight lying, like, I guess to, I don't know the word, not impress,
Yeah, they're
to
kids who
fit
lie.
in or whatever, but like, oh, I have all
Yeah.
these cards, but he said he would give them to us. Like, he said he would bring them for us. So I remember, like, constantly, I was like, oh, did you bring the cards? Like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, no, they're at my mom's house or something. Like, all these things. And it took, like, I don't know, months or something. And, like, finally, one, like, me or Jeremy was like, I don't think he has them. We're like, you know, that sounds correct. Like, I think he might not have any Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think we have, in fact, been bamboozled.
Wow. Wild.
Yeah,
Wild stuff.
who could fucking imagine? I still remember him saying he had like all the God cards and stuff, and we were so excited that we were gonna get the God cards like for free.
I think I bought a thing that had the God cards in them. I think I
Yeah.
have those somewhere. Just like some dumb thing.
I
It's just them or something.
had.
I think they had like weird colored, like their backs are colored differently.
Oh, that sounds right.
I don't think they're legal.
I did at some point. I had like the only saucy stuff I had was like from the show. So I did in fact have 3 Blue Eyes and then a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is like cool
yeah.
as fuck for me. And thanks to our neighbors out at my grandparents' cabin, they're like our neighbors' daughter or son, one of their kids was a high school teacher, and she'd confiscated like shitloads of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And they're like, oh, do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you want cards? I'm like, am I being lied to again? Like, no, we have tons of them. Like, our mom or whoever, someone, like, they confiscate tons of them. I'm like, yeah, sure. And they dropped off like a huge box, so I had like Exodia and shit, and that was cool. I never played, like, by that point nobody else played, but it was cool to look at.
Yeah. I think like I bought like the Pegasus Precon. Let me tell you, those the actual version of those tune cards not nearly as good as they are in the show.
Oh
yeah, that's still the point in the show where they hadn't made rules for that game yet.
Yeah, dude.
So that shit could just do fucking whatever.
Yeah, the baby Toon Dragon or whatever. I remember getting those precons. I was like stupid as fuck though. Like I think I had every precon at some point, but I wanted more cards, and there were good cards, and I liked the ones in the precon. So my solution was to get multiple versions of, like, get multiple precon packs. Like I would have 2 of the Pegasus pack or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes the way those precons are built, that's not like the worst idea in the world. Because you get like whatever 2 copies of the rare.
Yeah.
This card or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you're still focused on like you got to see the cool shit from the show instead of random ass combo that some dude in his basement came up with. And you're like, I don't know what a cat's ear tribe is. Did Yugi play this card?
Did you play this card after season 1, so it actually did the thing it does?
Yeah, man. I don't even remember any of that show. I
remember it pretty well.
I
really liked it.
The only
And I really liked it after season 1 when they actually gave the card game rules. That was amazing. It's like, oh my god, this thing has rules now. Somebody read the rule book.
I remember bits. Like I remember the bits not related to the card game for the most part. Like with the Millennium items and shit. I remember the movie.
Oh, the plot.
I remember the movie because I went to it and I got Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. Everybody was jealous as fuck.
Which movie?
Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie. I go multiple times or I just go once? I think it's literally just Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie Pyramid of Light 2004.
Oh, Pyramid of Light.
I saw that shit in theaters. I had to see it multiple times because I had, or did you get like multiple cards with it? Attendees got 2 of 4 free Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card games. Pyramid of Light, Sorcerer Dark Magic, Wadapon, which is like a little cream puff, and Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. And I got Pyramid of Light and Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, and fucking Jeremy got the Sorcerer and the cream puff thing. He was so upset. Oh, good times.
I think Yeah, I think I saw Bonds Beyond Time in a theater.
I have no idea what that is.
Which is the crossover movie between the first 3 Yu-Gi-Oh shows.
Dude.
So it has like Yugi, fucking Jaden, and then the like, motorcycle dude. That movie's fun. It was a fun time. They play like a 3-on-1 in that movie.
Hell yeah. Man, I wanted to check the Wikipedia page. Critical reception. It was met with overwhelmingly poor reception. Rotten Tomatoes ranked the film 68th in the 100 worst reviewed films of the 2000s.
Nice.
I mean, it sounds like their rating is just don't watch the TV show or play the card game, then this movie is not for you. Yeah, no fuck. You think?
As someone who remembers the show, I don't remember that movie being worthwhile. That first one.
I mean, sure. I'll show you. I put this in Discord a while back. I don't know if you saw. I'll show you this. I also, the only other thing I vividly recall is getting this card as a from like a McDonald's Happy Meal or something. And yeah, so I was like 10, probably awoken. That's like where it started, maybe. I don't know.
That's why you love green hair.
Who fucking knows? It's leafy hair though too.
Leafy green hair, even.
Yeah, this bitch has leaves on her head. Yeah, I know, right?
This is Ben's origin story. Fucking goddess of whim.
Changed my life.
Man.
Yeah, McDonald's Happy Meal.
Important lore.
That was good shit, dude. Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a lot of thirsty art. I'll say that. Some of it was just weird, but there was a lot of thirsty art there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else about the, like, after the movie. I don't know.
Yeah. Thirsty art never got me as a kid. Because I remember bringing my issues of Wizard magazine to school and then being surprised when like my classmates basically were drooling over them. Because the fucking like whatever, like Witchblade or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking boobid ladies.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I just didn't. It's just a drawing, guys. Come on. It's not an actual naked lady. What are you doing?
Fucking degenerates and their 2D women. Quit simping for a cartoon, guys.
That's how I felt when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Didn't understand.
I mean, I could see that. I can't imagine not like. Would kids be desensitized? Would it be the other? Which direction would it go in? How do kids feel about two-dimensional titty?
Only CG titty.
Only CG. It needs to be a VR experience.
Needs to have depth. The illusion of depth.
One day I'll tell my kids about how back in my day we had to mod in the tit physics into your games. They didn't just come pre-installed. Or dong physics. Or dong physics. Arguably the most. That's where all the budget for Cyberpunk went. Flopping around those peens in the character creator.
I can't believe that. You don't even have a slider.
The fact that you don't have a
like
slider
3 options.
is ridiculous.
It's like not even Age of Conan levels of good.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. Well, then, like, when me and Paul went to Red Dead Redemption 2, like, that character creator is so much better, it's ridiculous. Like, ugh. Even though, like, even Oblivion, even though you're, no matter what you did, your character looked like a potato, at least you had the sliders. You could customize your potato.
Yep. Like fucking Dark Souls has crazy character customization options, and you basically never see your character again once you have armor.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think maybe my main beef with Cyberpunk is that, and maybe this is on me, I did not keep up. I didn't follow super intensely with like trailers and any media or anything. Like, I would watch stuff generally, but not the super specific, like, oh, first 15-minute gameplay or something like that. So I thought that it was going to be a lot more choice based. Like, I thought you could really not only just your play style, but I thought you could like kind of be more of your own character. And from what I've seen, it is pretty damn shoehorned. Like, you're not really, you get to choose how your character looks, certainly, but you don't really get to choose too much of how they act.
Have you played a video game before? Role playing? I just feel like that's generally how those kinds of games.
No, and that's
exist.
fine. Yeah, no, I like that, and that's totally fine. But I was not expecting that. I was at least expecting something like, I mean, like Mass Effect in terms of like getting for dialogue. But instead, it's like, you get two options, and one of them is like, you're a prick, and the other one is like, you're a fucking prick. Like, you don't get like the nice guy.
I mean, it's way closer to Bethesda open world game. It's much more like that.
Yeah, and I just wasn't expecting that, which is kind of the turnoff, and it's totally fine, of course. Like, I mean, I don't not like a game like that, but gotta be in the mood, like anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, fucking The Witcher, you don't get to pick your character at all. You're playing a written character.
Well,
so
no, and that's fine. Like, arguably, I'd like that better. Like, I think I'd rather just have, like, you can pick male or female V and then roll with that.
Yeah. I don't know. Once any word about it being undercooked comes out, like, I'm like, oh, okay, definitely none of that's in the game. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because like Mass Effect can do it because that's a much more linear, like a much more directed, story-based thing. It's not really an open world game in the same way.
Yeah.
it's not an immersive sim style game like Deus Ex or Prey or something, which is
I think
closer
it's
to like
well,
which is like what Cyberpunk's like a cross between a Fallout game and like one of those.
yeah. I mean, I suppose maybe that's it. Like, I'd rather just have one of those experiences instead of something that's mixed and doesn't feel as good as either of them to me so far. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like those Bethesda RPGs never interested me. It's just not my kind of game. So
Yeah. Meanwhile, Anya's brother dropped like I don't know how far in he is, like 15 hours maybe more, 20 something.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's fine.
Um, he started once and then wanted to change his like lifestyle start or whatever. So he restarted after like 5 hours, and now he's gotten however far in and realized that he doesn't have the correct body type to tap the thickest girl in the game. So he's like, "Do I start over?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. That's seems like a not great reason to start over, but you got to live your
Look,
best life."
just get into the console commands and
I
just change your
mean,
character. Just cheat engine it.
pretty much, yeah. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like I need a strong narrative, or um, just I'll play an MMO. I'll play WoW,
Yeah.
kind of. Like I know it's not like the same at all, but like I don't like stealth games that much, so
Hmm.
like I like Hitman stealth,
You
where
like
you can
that
just walk
Payday
around.
2 stealth?
Yeah, it's multiplayer. That's also different. I don't play Payday by myself.
Boo.
I
I
could play a lot more kinds of games if I'm playing with people. That's fine. That's
I
fun.
I would like still be doing up some Payday stuff probably if I
I
could.
mean, they put out new content this year, even though they
Yeah.
said they were never going to do that because they
Well,
needed to pay their bills.
I mean, the worst part is that the fact that they said we'll never do paid content and then they did
Yeah,
paid content.
yeah.
Um, no, I would because like a good chunk of that game, I still really like it, and so much of it you can do on your own, like any of the stealth stuff basically, and I would do it, but for completing the loud shit, you basically can't solo. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm just no longer in a position where I can play because of the desync. So like it ruins the
Yeah.
game. So I like that killed all of the any single player drive I had.
Hmm. That's fair.
Like yeah. I think I was just getting to the point where like it was becoming more about like completing the rest of the game because I had the ability to. But I think first off, you need other people to help. And past that, it's a fucking commitment because doing all the loud missions on the hardest difficulty, like everybody basically has to commit to getting to level 600 to get all
Hmm.
like the max bonuses for shit.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
like it's a steep ask.
Yeah. Also, the going loud in that game is not the best.
Yeah, it's bad.
Not.
It's
Yeah. No, that's not
it's
what that game's good at.
yeah,
The
unless
game's
you have
much
like
better
a
at stealth.
like it does feel very good like once you get like I looked up a build and copied that. I'm like, "Oh, holy shit, like loud actually feels good now." But
Hmm.
you need like a full team and you got it. It's so much work. It just doesn't the fact that it
Yeah.
doesn't feel good until you're that deep is not it's just gross.
Hmm.
It's
No,
like
my bigger thing with stealth single player games is I just don't have the patience
sure.
to like to commit to it, and to like, and I need if like for it to be really fun for me by myself, like I have to be doing it as fast as possible, and I need like good sight line, like all that the the information it's giving you has to be good. So it's just hard.
Yeah.
Or it could be Hitman. Hitman, it like gets around a lot of it because you can just kind of walk around and not worry about the same kind of. It's not like you're hiding behind a wall the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. Hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. That's
See,
much more
I
fun
still need.
for me.
I want to pick up Hitman at some point. Is Hitman 2 the good one? What's the good one now?
Hitman.
Just
Hitman.
Hitman? Oh, fuck.
Hitman was fucking great, and like Hitman 2 is just more of that, and Hitman 3 is coming out early
Okay.
next year, I think.
Okay, I see Hitman. Okay, I apparently own Hitman and Hitman Absolution. I always forget, because I've looked at Hitman 2, but it just has a really weird pay model. Doesn't it?
No,
It's something fucking.
no, it was Hitman 1 had the weird pay model. Hitman 2 just came with the whole game.
Okay.
Hitman 1 was episodic released. Like they released one map at a time.
Weird.
And there were weird pay models. Hitman 2 did not have a weird pay model. That was just you buy this game. And it honestly made it less of a thing people talked about, because one of the things that got people talking about Hitman was like one map would come out and people would dive into that, like just play that map over and over again, which is like Hitman's pretty rewarding about that. So it kind of like A, it was really good, and B, it like was delivered in a way that made people like who may not have appreciated it otherwise really, really dig it. Whereas 2 just kind of was that game again, but came out all at once, and then kind of people didn't talk about it the same way, even though it was like, still a good game.
Okay.
Because like because you could kill people in multiple ways, and then there's like doing certain stuff that like ties to unlocks and stuff. And then they do like timed missions, like special kills or whatever, for different other rewards too. My problem with Hitman 2 was Hitman 2 didn't run great on my computer. So,
Gotcha.
like Hitman 1 was kind of pushing it, and Hitman 2 was, I just wasn't having as much. So that was like a shelf it till I build a new computer game, and I will dive back into that at some point in the future. Harder, probably. Theoretically. Those games are good. But yeah, I think Hitman 2 is just the one to have, because I think all the Hitman 1 maps are in that game.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
They just put them out. So if you only are gonna have one, just get Hitman 2.
Yeah, it seems like. Well, yeah, I'm looking at it. Like, there's the starter edition, which is free. Gain free access to the first mission.
Yeah, it's probably, I think, just the first map or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's the gold. I don't know. The confusing thing right now is that there's the gold edition and the standard edition, and the standard edition makes it look like it has more things in it than the gold edition. It's very confusing, but I don't think it matters too terribly much.
Gold edition probably has what's in the standard edition plus what's in the gold edition.
I have no idea,
but I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm just looking at the Steam page. Oh.
For Hitman 2?
Yeah. You're talking about the new Hitman 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know they did like they started the naming over.
Yeah, like the reboot Hitman is the. Yeah. What is this?
I mean, I might just pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think Gold Edition is just, it also comes with the season pass. They like get the expansion stuff or whatever. The like DLC. I think that's the difference. The gold edition comes with the DLC.
Okay.
Which I don't even know what's in that because I never got that stuff.
Wild.
Or did I? I own most of it somehow.
I think there's like free stuff as well, right?
Yeah,
Looks
but there's
like
definitely stuff here that. Oh, I think the stuff I own is like the. I think these are probably the Hitman 1 maps that I own for owning Hitman 1. Like if you own, they only put the Hitman 1, like they would sell the Hitman 1 maps to you in Hitman 2 extra unless you owned Hitman 1 and then you just got them.
Gotcha. Okay. A little wild, but get behind it. Certainly better than any of the. I mean, it may be slightly more confusing, but like shit like Sims is still gross. It's like $600 of DLC on sale.
I mean, just get fucking Origin, their like subscription model, and you get all of it.
I don't think you get all of the DLC though, because
if you have like the expensive version, I think you do.
Okay. Because on the trial, I got Sims. Well, no, because they made Sims 4 free for a while, so that's why I have that. But on the trial, you had like the deluxe version of Sims 4, so you got like 2 or 3 of the expansions or something, but like not the good ones.
What, I don't know what the good ones even are.
I mean, same. They were like that. Well, they have their big ones, and then they have like small ones that are like, we added a cat to the game, and it was like you got like a big one and 2 tiny ones. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares about.
Well, because also they'll do this thing with that where like some of the stuff that's new when an expansion comes out is like overhauling the base game and making the game better too. Like they've added shit to the character creator. Times.
Well, they have that Star Wars expansion. I've been tempted. If only my love for Star Wars didn't die, then maybe I'd own it.
If only you liked Star Wars.
If only.
Now you're just all about DC. You're just a DC boy.
Well, Star Wars needs a plant girl. Yeah. You're thinking if there's a plant girl in Star Wars, aren't you?
Uh-huh. I'm sure there's a plant girl somewhere, but not in the stuff I've...
Trying to think if I've encountered one. Have I encountered a plant girl in Star Wars? I don't think so. I think it's just like occasionally some of the aliens like look plant-ish. They have the right features or whatever, but I don't think there's an actual plant species that I can think of. There's that wolf dude. I remember him.
The werewolf? That's in like one shot?
Yeah. They made like a whole big thing about him, like everyone else in the cantina.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in an original Star Wars movie, there's like they have to write so much lore about you.
Yeah. I forget what there was a thing like
also, and you might show up in the fucking Mandalorian.
Yeah. There was a whole big thing about that character. Like, it was edgy as hell. Like, they absorb all light or something, so they can, like, blend into the shadow. It was, like, super. It was, like, some unbelievable
Gotta explain
bullshit.
why the lighting in that shot is weird.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
You said you watched some more Mandalorian. How did you finish season 2? How far did you?
Oh, yeah. I did up the rest of it. um, yeah.
Still out on Star Wars?
I mean, like, yes and no. So, I mean, we're cool to like just spoil shit, right? Like, I don't have to hold back.
Mm, just because this, I don't know.
I mean,
I almost
okay,
want to hold
okay,
back
okay.
because this isn't like our Star
Minus
Wars episode or whatever.
minus the ending, minus the ending.
Yeah.
Do I have to hold back about people that make an appearance?
No, because that's all over the internet. That's
Okay,
all over
okay,
everywhere. Like, you can
okay.
talk about
I
Ahsoka.
just want to make
Ahsoka
sure.
is free game to talk about.
I mean, okay, so Ahsoka was really good. I thought she would be in more of it. I didn't know it was just the one.
Yeah, it's just a backdoor pilot for her TV show she's getting.
Yeah, which is totally fine. But I thought she was great in the sense that, like, I mean, of course, like these actors are doing their, I'm sure what's her name watched a fuckload of Clone Wars and Rebels to get the character, but it was such a good representation. I was very happy, like, based on how her character is in Clone Wars and Rebels, like the mannerisms were there and stuff. I'm like, this actually does feel like Ahsoka aged up. Like, it's dope, and I loved it. Some people were getting really fucking picky, like, oh, her, what the hell is it called? The Lectu, like her tentacle things on her head. Lectu, I think is the term. Like, oh, it's not correct. I'm like, dude, you guys gotta fuck off. Really?
Don't those just look different in between like the different shows anyway?
Only in the sense that, like, it looks in Rebels it's bigger. Like, it gets bigger and changes, like, because she's getting older. So I think maybe that's the beef, is that it doesn't look as big as they think it should. But I mean, what the fuck ever? It's fine.
That's dumb. It looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, I do find it great that they can just put the voice actress for Bo-Katan and she just can literally just play that character.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. That's the only thing, like, it made me a little sad because Ahsoka's voice actor is, like, so into that character. Like, anything. I know sometimes Ian McGregor has done stuff for, like, Obi-Wan, but, like, anything that requires Ahsoka, like a Lego game, the mobile games, like any bullshit, whatever, like, she's there. And it's dope. Actually, the one thing that she's done that kind of disappointed me is she did the audiobook of the Ahsoka novel, and I wish someone would have had the foresight to make her read it in first person. Because she's reading it, like, just through it, so it's like Ahsoka looked at the thing and blah blah blah, like, third person. And I'm like, this is amazing, but it could have been better.
I can't look. I've read Daniel X. I cannot justify any books being written or read in first person.
I mean,
I just can't. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
I read a book in the second person.
As a gimmick, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want like a lot of books written in the second person. But
it lasted.
Choose your own adventure books.
People were generally not happy about it, I guess. Like, I don't know. So this was a thing. One of the things I'd seen on, like, NPR's list was my Gothic Lesbian Necromancer book, and they, like, never. So they're talking, like, the first review I saw was for the second book, and they didn't mention that it was in the second person, like, at all. Like, this did not factor into the review, I guess. And they just said, like, there's a moment like where you've had enough, and you finally get released, like, just when you think you want to put the book down, you can't take it anymore, like, you get your reward, you get the release from this. And in hindsight, I'm pretty sure they were talking about second person because there is a reason why it's in second person, and then you finally get that release and it switches after a certain point. But it's deep. It's deep. I felt it too. I was like getting kind of annoyed, and then it hit, and it was just like they said it would happen. So it was interesting.
That sounds insufferable.
It was fun.
Not having the context of like liking the thing.
Yeah. No, if it was, it would be awful if it was the first book. But coming off of what happens, like, it's fine.
I don't know, something weirder about it. Like that's how the second book goes. But
no, it makes sense. It makes
didn't
sense.
read it. I don't.
Yeah, it makes sense narratively. Is
Okay.
what I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to take your word for it because I have no idea.
Yeah. No, it's weird. I mean, I don't think I've ever encountered like a you even in the choose your own adventure books. I only remember the Animorphs one, and I think that like stayed. I think that stayed third person. What should Tobias do next?
Turn into a hawk. It's always the answer. Unless you can't
Well, no.
turn back from a hawk.
I was gonna say just become a hawk permanently.
And that was no good.
I mean, he
Being a
seemed
hawk
fine.
permanently.
Wasn't his home life shit or something? Like, it seemed like he
Yeah,
was
but-
doing okay.
It doesn't. I don't. That's not how I remember it. I remember it being bad.
I mean, yeah, no, he didn't want it. It was definitely an unwanted thing. But, you know,
I don't know.
that seems
Animorphs
like...
is just one of those things. I remember loving those books. I don't really remember anything about them. I watched the TV show once.
I also watched
very
it
good.
once for like 2 seconds.
I lasted longer than that. I think I watched a whole episode.
It's
It's not very good.
Yeah.
But and Animorphs was just one of those things where, like, one day I went to the bookstore to look for an Animorphs book, and there were so many. I was like, well, I'm never reading any more of these again. Because for like when it was first coming out, I was up on it, and then suddenly I was behind, and then I was like, oh no, I quit.
I've got to tap out of this shit. Yeah. No, that's understandable, really. I don't think, did I even read them all? I think I managed to get through a majority of them, but like I think I had to skip a big chunk cuz like I only ever got them from our library and they didn't have all of them. So I don't think there were any huge skips, but like maybe at one point, like for the most part, certainly they had like the first 10 or 15 or something. And then maybe around there, I would have to skip one here and there. And then at some point, I probably had to skip like 5 in a row, and I was a bit off, but I pieced together things. Because I definitely remember reading the ending and like some of the external, like the extra books and shit. But I don't know how that would hold up. I've been curious to go back, but who knows?
Also, I played the PlayStation game once, and that was also bad.
That sounds like
It's a bad
sounds
game.
like a bad time.
We got stuck because there was like a part where you have to jump diagonally. It's like an isometric game sometimes, and we couldn't figure out how to jump diagonally. It didn't seem to work. I don't know.
It's wild.
If we could have jumped diagonally, it would have been fine, but holding diagonally on the D-pad did not do it. So
From the fired team of people who made Wind Waker so you could only move diagonally. My Target kiosk experience. Do you not remember this?
I wonder. No, I don't remember.
Oh. At the Target
I-
demo thing
I
for
vaguely remember.
Yeah. Target demo. Controller was broken, so you could only move diagonally, but it wasn't broken in a visible way. So I thought they just made the stupid ass decision to not let you walk in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 7 years
Hell
old,
yeah.
really upset. Oh,
Sorry, I got distracted by trying to figure out how deep in Animorphs I ever got. Because I really have no idea.
in the books?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the ending was garbage.
Hell yeah. Well, according to this Wikipedia article, by book 25, they were all ghost written. So.
That checks out. I thought the
So that doesn't really give me hope that like it was worth finishing.
I mean, I think for the yeah, it's whatever.
Look, man, I still have Daniel X books to read.
Ugh,
More important things out there.
gross. Fucking Daniel X. Do we have like a Daniel X jar? Like you have to put $1 in it every time you make me think of Daniel X again after I shove it out of my memory.
No, because I haven't even made you play the DS game yet.
That'll be a dark day in hell.
Or read the manga adaptation.
That is more likely than me playing
the-
the DS game.
Yeah, the standalone graphic novel, or like the shorter American comic book story, where he's one true love is this kid who's made out of bugs.
Yeah.
Because at the end he's like, he was my one real friend. He wasn't imaginary. Because Daniel X is an incredibly fucked up story.
Daniel X has a lot of things going.
I will say the manga adaptation way better than the book.
I mean, it
On
doesn't
account of,
seem
not being written in first person.
It
You're
doesn't
not like
seem
in
difficult.
Daniel's head. It seems way more likable when it's just a comic.
I mean, that also somehow makes it like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That would add an extra dimension. Like, I know what you're thinking right now, you arrogant fuck. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the manga adaptation was the way I was exposed to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Me and my friend going to Borders as they were going out of business. And just seeing the manga adaptation of Daniel X over and over again until, like, at the last one, we were walking to checkout, and then there was a copy there sitting right next to the checkout line. It's like, well, I guess it was
Fuck
foretold.
Hell yeah.
It chose us.
Hell yeah, dude. Destiny.
No, I'm not playing Destiny right now.
How's Beyond Light?
Pretty meh.
Better or worse than whatever the fuck the thing was before it? I can't even remember the name.
Worse. Less interesting.
Wild.
But I think it's better at, like, for players who want to play Destiny all the time.
That I could believe.
But for someone like me who just wants to dive into the expansion and see the new shit and then not play that game anymore, it's less good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they do more to, like, keep string you along with story bits with special missions as, like, an ongoing game now than they used to.
Okay.
And with their, like, season passes or whatever.
I think I saw something about
But that's just not how I'm gonna play that game. So
yeah, they did. I'm trying to remember what the exact complaint was. I think it seems like they did like I guess a Wizards of the Coast. Like they changed something in the game. I'm pretty sure it was them. They changed
Well, they
something.
took
And it was
out a
all
bunch of the older content.
yeah. Right, that was it. I know there was. I saw
Yeah,
stuff about the content
they
because
took
people
out
were
a
like,
bunch of the game.
yeah, because people were like, if you're new, then you don't. You're like, you're skipping. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? Um, and then there was
Well, there's like a
something,
whole new player experience.
another
But yeah,
one, or the one that I had.
another one. There's like a
The
player
new
experience 'cause
players.
the story's changed. So,
Mm,
and they took out again. They took out a bunch of the old content.
wild.
And if you jump in, like they start you at a higher light level or whatever.
Okay.
Like regardless of if you had played or not, like they start you at the light level to start the latest stuff.
Gotcha.
Although you're like 30, like if you don't grind, you're always like actually like 30 light below, which is like what they consider hard mode, which is a little weird. Like it was weirdly hard up front, the new expansion because of how it was tuned.
Yeah, that sounds
And
interesting.
like you
at
could
least.
you could grind to make it a little easier. It's just like you're like swarmed. You're just like, why is this hard? Like it's just weird. It's not like that big a deal, but
Yeah, I think I saw people
like you
like
haven't played in a while. It's a little jarring, mostly.
they like phased out weapons or something, or like people were talking about how like there were legendary weapons that are now useless like entirely, but they're also like some of them they brought back. So there's like one version of this weapon that is useless and another version that's exactly the same except good. But it's like the same exact name, same look, everything, but one of them is legacy, so it's shit somehow. I don't know. I didn't read too deeply into it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Shit doesn't bother me because like
Yeah, I mean,
what my thing is just like my what I want out of that game isn't the what the game's serving. So
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of just like okay. It's kind of just isn't for me right now. Just like WoW.
Yeah.
Because WoW wants you to grind too much at max level now. I'm like, which is what I don't like.
Yeah,
I
it's
liked
fair.
playing that game at the end of an expansion when it's like fucking. There isn't. I'm not like actually trying. The game isn't actually telling me to play all the time to reach a thing. It's
Yeah.
just like the shit's here, whatever. Do what you want. Whereas like to do even if I wanted to do like all my dailies in that game, I would have to play for like a while. Like there's just so much to do in it and it makes me not want to do any of it.
Oh yeah. Dude, I still cannot believe like so they had
Mostly just cuz like I just don't have the time. I can play other games.
yeah. The fact that they had the fucking why can't I think of what this is the name of it? Shit. Don't tell me. It's not Paragon. Talking about Mass Effect too much. Fuck. I spend so much time. The thing where you finally get flying in an expansion. What's that achievement called?
I don't know.
Shit. I spent so much time doing it and I can't remember. Because I got that for
Yeah.
Battle for Azeroth, and Mark did it for that, and then he also went back and got it in Legion, but he kept going after they gave everybody flying in Legion, so he finished it out, and he's like, I got nothing. I got an achievement.
Uh-huh.
Not even a mount.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So much time.
I don't know. If you're playing the old shit, I don't know what he expected.
He just wanted to get, well, because at the time, that's how you had to get flying in Legion. You want to get flying
Yeah,
in there.
but like you only are doing Legion to do Legion. It doesn't really matter.
No. I mean, for him, I don't know what the fuck his excuse was, but if you're about making that money, you gotta be able to fly. You want to farm.
If you want to farm Legion specifically.
Some of the shit in Legion is valuable, dude.
But yeah, but there's so many other places you could farm.
You gotta, you gotta follow the money.
And you're wasting all that time you could be farming, fucking leveling in Legion.
Well, yeah, but you gotta do it
getting your Legion rep.
Look, it's fine.
And again, why are you farming if you're other than like to get something in the game? I don't.
No, like farming like materials or whatever, like for money.
Yeah, but you don't need any of that shit if you're max level. You only need that shit to make money, but why do you make money if what you're doing is like farming Legion content? What are you using that for? There's not that much in WoW to buy that you need.
I mean, I don't have to pay for my subscription ever again, so like that's a thing. Like that's what.
Yeah, but you don't play the game. You don't have to pay for the subscription if you don't play the game either.
Yeah, but like if I ever come back to it, like I still won't have to pay. Like I bought my token and that was only like half my money at the time. I'm just like, that's what, that's the, again, I have no idea why Mark would be doing it, but for me, like for going around and like, oh, this herb is going up in price. I need to get on that. I don't know why it's going up in price. That's not my business, but I'm going to follow it.
I don't know. That shit only made sense to me when you were playing the game. When you were doing it and you weren't playing the game otherwise, it stopped making sense to me, I'll say.
How do you mean? Like the market stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, because
like when you were saying you weren't playing games, you were just doing market stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like
no, because
you basically quit WoW, but you kept doing market stuff.
That is the draw for me. Again, I would have stuck with it in Tarkov, but they fucked that up massively. Like they took it from me, so I had to find it elsewhere. And Eve is too much.
You could do it with MTGO. Play the MTGO market.
Can you?
Yeah.
I guess it'd be well. See, WoW just had like a nice
for cards. Like there's like a whole stock market websites.
Yeah.
For that game.
Yeah.
For card values, they'll show you like what every bot is selling their cards for.
I think that would be my issue. Maybe it's the bots. Are there bots? Like there are actual bots?
Yeah, you just this whole it's like a trade marketplace of bots. You just initiate trade with them to do your deals.
Okay, I see. I got you.
Like all the storefronts are run by bots, basically.
Okay, that makes far more sense.
You open up, so you go to like the website that tells you the prices that all those bots are selling their shit for, so you can find the cheapest one and then flip it to the one that's like not as cheap. Except the margins on all that shit are weird because you can only deal in tickets, but like cars will be worth like $3.11 or whatever, and then you have to pay, and you'll just have credit at all these different bots for like 30 cents or whatever.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know. It seems less straightforward. No, the important thing at the end of the day is I was enjoying myself. I had a good time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I could play and stuff. I mean, arguably, I mean, as I've said, like, if I didn't play it then, I just wouldn't have. Because, like, if you don't strike while that iron's hot, then it's going away. Like, I'm not... not probably going to happen, but...
Yeah, you had the free time.
Yeah, the free time and the urge because of Log Horizon, weirdly.
Gross.
Makes me want to play MMOs, and I started Guild Wars, and it was like still kind of shit.
Not an MMO. Guild Wars isn't really an MMO. It's like an online Diablo. It's more like Destiny.
Yeah. I don't even know if they have a market in that game, but that definitely, like, that was a driving factor for WoW, no doubt. Is that they actually had a market. I love that shit. Even in WoW, it wasn't quite fast paced enough. Maybe with Shadowlands it would have been, but like Tarkov was that shit was hot. I could sit and just do market stuff and things were moving so fast that I could burn like an hour and I wouldn't even notice.
Mm-hmm.
In WoW, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna log on for 5 minutes, click my buttons, and then log out. And
Yeah.
then there was always you had
Yeah,
to,
I mean, I did a little of that stuff just because there was a mount I wanted, so I literally did enough of it to get the mount I wanted. I
yeah.
just treated it like a daily.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that shit's boring. I don't know. It's kind of fun because it's stupid, but I didn't. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like getting to a high level of it will never be like there are fucking the subreddit for this is ridiculous because there of course there are people who are like, yeah, I've sold like 300 million worth of Shadowlands legendaries already, but their profit margins are like 5 million. Like it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. Like at a certain, like you're just trying to. You're
Like,
working in bulk, like,
yeah,
and if you're constantly just flipping what you're making into other stuff to try and then flip that, like, yeah.
it's just yeah.
Because
And
like
I
if you're like if you're moving too much, then it's not gonna be worth as much or whatever. Like it's stupid.
mhm. And I mean I find it interesting enough to do, but like it's kind of my thing with I guess any real thing for Magic like for when Mike was like selling cards hardcore and stuff, like part of it is keeping up with everything, you know? Like you're speculating based on tournament, like you have to keep up with tournament results and see like what might be hot and like, okay, well I had 80 copies of these that are not worth money and I got to go dig them out. And that's kind of true. That was like with
It's
the
almost like it's a job.
well, yeah. And for him it was. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm not going to keep up with like in WoW the equivalent is raiding, right? Like what stuff are people using for their raids? I'm not going to keep up with that when I'm also not raiding. Like I don't care about gold making that much. But buy low, sell high is a good time for me. Keeping up with raid equipment, not so much. And also the add-ons
Yeah.
really helped. Without the add-ons, it would be boring as shit.
Oh, yeah. I never used any add-ons.
Yeah. It was literally just one. I mean, you can set it up to automate a lot. Not fully automate, because I think that they changed their terms of service. They didn't like how people were abusing the auction house, but you can like, it's essentially like a glorified macro, I guess. You can set it so like, oh, I entered the auction house and I clicked my run button and now it's gonna like sell all these materials at this price and do whatever else. But the only thing I used it for was it would show you like the historic price of an item and like what it's been selling for recently, and then it shows like, oh, you bought the last time you bought it was at this price, so I didn't have to think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever. I'm just disappointed you stopped playing the game.
I mean that makes two of us. I tried like I like sat here just staring at my screen. There was one night I'm like, I know that I should play Shadowlands. Like I purchased it. I fucking like Hank and Paul are playing it. Like, all we got to do
I mean,
is
not anymore.
well, yeah, no, but back when you like day one or whatever, I'm like, everybody's ready. Come on, you just gotta. It's just one double click. You just gotta hit that play button, and the game will start up, and then you'll start having fun. Come on, you can do it, Ben. And I walked away. Well.
So it goes.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Too much Harley Quinn to watch.
Too much Harley Quinn to watch. I don't even remember what I would have been playing at the time. Too long ago.
Overdrift seems like the only game you ever actually play.
Why are people
Anymore.
picking so many random games out of my library? I dumped so much time into Horizon.
That's the one I always hear you talk about.
It's because nobody else talks about it, so I gotta mention it so it gets its justice.
Like literally anytime I mention Hades, you just want to talk about Nova Drift.
Oh, that's because it tracks stats. I don't know, it was topical. I also mentioned Monster Train. Look,
Yeah,
no,
Nova Train's the one you mentioned more.
That's because I've been playing it longer.
See? Have you been playing it more? That's what I'm saying.
It's very good. I wish more people would talk about it. Actually, that's not true because then I'd have to deal with more people bitching about the drift mechanics because it's like asteroids. People don't like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't actually like roguelikes that much, so.
You don't have to play like a roguelike, though.
What? I don't like games with run-based games that much. Like I only have so much stomach for it.
I mean, that's fair.
Because there's
I guess is there like a genre that's run-based but not truly roguelite or roguelike? Because it's like a whatever fucking genre like Pac-Man would be in terms of like you're just trying to get you're trying to beat your high score. The only difference is that you have builds, but like you don't really. It's not too random for selecting those.
You just mean there's no like. No, because that's closer to what Rogue is, even.
I guess. Yeah. I
like the like part is all the RPG shit that's stacking on top of that.
Yeah,
genre.
I guess. Because I mean, I guess I should say the state the game is in now. Like, the only thing that they call it, like, they jokingly refer to it as the roguelike mode. Like, the only thing it does is it adds random, mods in the game that are just like your.
Yeah, I don't
your
even
boons.
really know what Nova Drift is. I just know you talk about it every time I talk about a roguelike, so.
Well, it's because it fills the void. It like I compare it to Hades most often because Hades to me, like the main difference. Obviously, there's a lot of fucking differences between it and Isaac. That's an understatement. But like in terms of gameplay, the two big things for me are like the progression with like increasing your health, giving you like revives and that sort of thing, and then the fact that you are starting you're choosing your starting weapon, right? So unless you're just following whichever one has the current bonus, you're starting the game by saying, okay, I'm going to play this thing, and that's the void that Nova Drift fills for me. Like if I play Isaac, I do not want to say I'm not starting the run and going, okay, well let's try for a guppy run because you can't just force that shit to happen.
You're choosing your character?
Yeah, but they're all basically the same. Like you can't. I'm saying like you can't say, okay, on this run of Isaac, I'm going to do an orbital based familiar damage run. Because you just might never see those items, and it would be shit if you tried to do that. Like, you will get what the game gives you.
Yeah, Hades, I mean, there's more stuff in Isaac, but I'm not.
Yeah, but
like, you're still picking a thing when you start at.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's less impactful. It's not like.
Yeah.
Fucking.
But that's what I'm saying.
Whatever. It's not like completely different.
It's not the difference between like the shield and the bow and arrow, right? Like those are two drastically different things.
I mean, depends what character you pick.
I'm focusing more on like
that's pretty different.
I'm focusing more on like.
You're focusing on the part you don't like. It's fine.
No, I just
hate Hades.
No, I'm focusing on the idea that like you have more agency over what kind of run you will be having in Hades, like in terms of how your play style is going to be. And that's true to an extent with the Isaac characters, but like not all of them. Obviously, if you choose Azazel, like okay, I'm
I
starting with
mean,
a little
that's
flying
just
brimstone boy,
not the
but
big distinction I would draw on Hades.
I'm
The big
saying
distinction is like these the like the fact that you get stronger all the time the more you play it, basically.
yeah, no, those are like that's still kind
Which
of the main one
makes
for
it
me.
more closer to like Rogue Legacy.
Yeah, which was fine, but I just haven't been in that mood for quite a while. But
Yeah, that's
for
fine.
for an idea of like there was another game I put some time into it to get a good feel. What was it called? Flame Break?
And honestly, one of the reasons I stick with Hades because I found a build I like, and I just literally do that every time.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
that's totally fair. But
like
yeah,
I've been like, trying to do other runs. I'm just not having as much fun as when I do
yeah,
my
when you do
builds.
that thing.
When I do my shields, like dodge build.
Yeah. And that's I don't know. It's kind of I mean, it's all my own fault really, but for that sort of thing, like I would want to do all of the weapon stuff. I would want to do I enjoy doing like multiple things, right? Or like having a bit of variance, but like for me, yeah, I always gravitate towards the shield. Maybe because I'm trash and I need the shield, but whereas in Nova Drift, I have a good time no matter what my build is. Like I start and I say, okay, I feel like doing this, and then I do it. And sometimes I
It's
play
fine.
poorly and I die,
You
but
only play Nova Drift
it's
and
the
hate all
only
other
game.
video games.
It's
It's
the
fine.
only game I play. It's the only game I play.
You
If
should
you
play
ask,
Devil Daggers.
if you ask other
That's a
people,
game where you don't get better.
Devil
It's just get good or die.
Daggers, I can save 50% on it right now. It's a
It's not an expensive game.
a fast-paced shooter that places you in an abyssal arena to face endless legions of demons.
Yeah. You shoot knives out of your fingers.
Pretty wild. I'm kind of tempted. Doesn't have the tag roguelike, so don't know.
I mean, it's like literally it's like an arcade game. It's like literally the same.
I'm trying
Enemies
to
spawn at the same time every run, and you're just trying to survive as long as possible.
yeah. I'm trying to figure out what this review means. This game is the most densely cooked espresso ever. It's positive.
I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
I have no clue at all. Good for them, I guess. Includes one Steam achievement. Is it like hard as balls to get? That would actually be cool. I don't know. I mean, it looks interesting. The art style looks dope.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'll get around to Hades at some point. It'll just be a very slow roll.
I mean, I don't care if you get to Hades or not. I want you to finish fucking Pyre. That's
That'll
the better
happen.
Supergiant game.
That'll
As
happen
much as
too.
I like Hades.
I just want Megara to step on my neck, okay? That's so
I mean,
much
you're
to
not gonna
ask.
get very far in that game if that's what you do.
Worth it.
Also,
Absolutely worth
it's
it.
like again, it's your interest to get farther because eventually, you don't fight her if you keep playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fight her sisters.
But then I don't get to see her as often.
Yeah, you get her sister who just goes murder,
That's
murder.
that's the third one, right?
Yeah,
Don't they? Because like the second
she's
one,
my fave.
like Megara is, for lack of a better term, like normal, and the second one is a little kooky, and then the third one is just like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Yeah.
and then you can fight them all three at the same time.
Well, who knows? One of these days, maybe I'll beat Pyre. You never know.
Maybe one
2021.
day you'll play a video game that's not Nova Drift.
Unfucking believe. Why does everybody? It'd be better if everybody could agree on one game to say that I play all the time.
Well,
Instead,
which one have you also been accused of recently? I mean, I know
someone,
you streamed Monster Train like the other
someone,
day.
someone fucking hit me with WoW. Someone said WoW.
Oh, they're
It
just
was
out of date.
yeah, very out of touch. I don't know. Someone say Horizon because I was bumping Horizon on PC finally for a while there.
That could be because like if you talk about Horizon, it just can seem like you've been playing Horizon forever, rather than like a dip back in.
I mean, I think like the one I've been playing the most is, like recently is probably Cyrillum.
Yeah, but that name doesn't stick in the mind at all. So
Not my fault.
I mean, that's just SEO, baby.
I mean, yeah, last 2 weeks I have 8.8 in Cyrillum Ultimate, 4.5 in Monster Train, 6.5 in Neon Abyss, and 5 in Isaac, 4 in Horizon.
Look at this guy playing video games.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I have played 3.5 hours of Steam games in the past 2 weeks. And like only 2 of those were single player.
I mean, some people would argue that's a good thing.
I mean, I did finish 13 Sentinels. That was a lot of hours.
This guy's skewing
That
the
was-
numbers. Yeah, you said you could get it done. You only had 10 hours left. That's such a long. I cannot sit for that long. Mostly.
So with the thing is, I can't tick away at games. I can't like play a little bit every day.
Sure.
That's why I didn't touch 13 Sentinels for a while, because like it was like I need to be able to set out an amount of time where I can just sit and play this thing.
Okay.
And I can only do that with games I fucking love. Like, I'm with you. Like, most games I can't sit and play, but I really fucking like that game, so
Yeah.
I could do it with that one.
Yeah, no, like if it's I mean, you've seen
But
it with,
generally, like if I'm playing more than an hour, like if I'm playing like a roguelike, like I'll do one run and then I'm probably out.
Yeah. No, it's finicky. I mean, I really like Pyre. Pyre is fucking fantastic, and for some reason, like I can't just sit down and do it, and I don't know why. Because like on paper, logically, in my brain, it's fucking amazing. Like I got the first loop, I guess. Is that the best way? Yeah. And like I was in, I'm like, dude, this is fucking interesting. I did not see this being a thing, but like I still haven't like sat back down to it. And even like one of the more recent games that I'd finished, as I mentioned to you before, Far Cry 3. Not a super long game. I was very surprised that I finished it. I usually fucking tap out like 3/4 of the way through. Like finishing games is a struggle for me more often than not. I hate it. I fucking hate it because I want to play more story-based games that have an ending, and instead I'm just like, man, this is another roguelike. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like those, I think maybe those feel better for me because there's no worry about like finishing them because they're never finished. So it's like eating
for me it's way more about like finding a game I love and then finding the time where I'm just gonna day, I'm just gonna play that game,
Yeah.
and then like get through it. And there were like 3 of those this year.
Nice. I mean, to me, through like finding 3 of those in a year seems dope. Even as much as I loved it, even Horizon was actually not one that I'd sat down and did in like a single sitting. I think the back half I did. Once you like
I mean, yeah, like if you're talking like 20 to 30 hour games, it's not gonna be a single.
well, not a single, but even like
Yeah,
I mean Far
but
Cry
yeah,
3
like
even
a few.
like yeah, Far Cry 3 I did
Except,
in like a couple days or whatever.
I think nothing was as bad for me as XCOM 2, where I played like 36 hours of it in a weekend or something.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't stop myself from playing it. It had like the one more turn thing, but like
Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't sleep. I think I have like I have like 90 hours in that game. I've played it like twice.
Hell yeah,
Really.
dude. That was
Because I played it and then War of the Chosen came out and then I did another run.
I would be so curious to see
The funny part is the first time I wasn't like, I'm not like I'm in love with this. I'm like, this sucks. This is so buggy and fucked up. I'm so mad and I still couldn't stop. But at least with the War of the Chosen, I was like, this is fucking amazing. They fixed this. This is great. This is like the mission variety was good. As opposed to the first time I played it, the mission variety was garbage. Like every mission was the same.
yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. It felt like a sickness the first time I played it. I couldn't. It's like an addiction. And like it got more fucked up and broken the more I played. Because I wasn't, restarting the game or anything. Because I just had to keep going. Just had to spin that clock up again, man.
Yeah, I don't know what my worst game for
very
that would
addictive.
be. Maybe it might fucking be Animal Crossing back in March. Or WoW. Those are like the 2 big ones recently. The one that I get like sucked into is Isaac. And it sounds a bit braggadocious, but like I'm good enough at that game that I can usually win a given run more often than not. So I win and then I want another fucking taste. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just play until I lose. And that's usually like at least a 2 or like somewhere between a 2 and 5 streak. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess my little Isaac break is going to be like 7 hours. Let's go. And then I lose after like a 5 streak. I'll lose and I'll be like, well, that's not fair. Only winning 5 out of my 6 games? How dare they?
How dare they? Yeah,
Anyway.
I kind of can't imagine sitting and finishing a run of a roguelike and then just wanting to roll it back up again. I don't think I've ever done that.
It might be hard for you to believe, but that's how I get with Nova Drift, actually. That one, like, because your start can be so rough, I'll usually be like, okay, well, I died after like 5 minutes. I usually play until I have like a good solid run, and then I stop for a bit.
Yeah. Fucking Star Renegades. I really like that game. But like a run, my longest
like
run, it took 4 hours.
4
and
hours, right.
I was like almost to the end and I died. I'm like, like that's fucking ridiculous. That is too long.
It's ridiculous.
It's just runs are too long.
4 hours is too
If
much.
that game wasn't a roguelike, like it would just play it as an RPG because it's a fucking fun turn-based RPG. But fuck. Dude.
So did they just? Yeah, they like released something, or like they released 2 things, or they're like
they release more like there's more like there's an alternate world you can go to, so like your run's gonna have more variety.
Okay. Because
I
I'm
think
like
was what I saw.
I'm curious about it. I've kept it on my radar because it does look very interesting.
I really fucking like it, except the part where it's like a fucking nightmare because the
See,
runs are too long.
my thing is my thing is like how much honestly when I look at roguelikes, the first thing I do is I go down into the reviews and I want to see like how much time people are have put into this game. Like I know most people aren't going to be dropping tons and tons of time, but like one of the good things about like uh maybe Nova Drift or certainly like Monster Train or Slay the Spire or whatever, you as you go down you're seeing a ton of people who have like 50, 100, 200, 400 hours, and like I want a roguelike that's, of course they don't all click, but like I want something that will last, like that I can really dive into and I don't have to worry about like, oh nope, we're done. Like there's not it, or it's boring or something.
Yeah,
This
it's the
looks
opposite
decent.
of what I want.
This looks decent. There's quite a few people at like 100 or 50 or 70. Oh wait, is it tactical?
It's like, I mean, it's like RPG combat,
They
like
said
JRPG combat.
They said tactical turn-based game. Are we talking Pokemon turn-based or are we talking Banner Saga turn-based?
Pokemon,
Okay, I'm in.
but you do have a party, but
I mean, party
it's
is
like
fine. I just don't like having
it's
to
like
move them.
a final again. It's like a Final Fantasy, early
Okay.
Final Fantasy or something.
Yeah, no, that's totally.
It's turn based. There's like some positioning stuff just in terms of front line, back line. Like it's a little more complicated than like, Final Fantasy 1, but
Yeah,
it's not like an isometric like move Fire Emblem or something.
yeah. I just I don't know what it is. Maybe because I'm bad at them, but I just not my jam.
I mean, Banner Saga isn't a great example of the genre also.
I
Really,
tried.
but
There was a new one recently that people were like super hyped on, and it looked good, and I liked the art direction. And it's like that was its deal, is like this is a good tactics game, and I dived in and I played it for a little bit, and I'm like, I don't really like tactics. Kind of realizing that about myself.
wow.
So I mean, sometimes you gotta try a few times. It's not a genre that I've done too much of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
I'd
think
say
like
try one of the better Fire Emblems. Find one where you have a girl with blue hair, and then
I mean, I have 2 Fire Emblem games. I got Awakening and never played
Yeah.
it. I've seen the intro to that game, and
oh
I
yeah,
didn't
Awakening
pass
is the
that.
one because Lucina has blue hair. Good,
Yeah.
done.
Um,
And that
I
that I think is the best and the most accessible one. So
yeah. The only other one I have, like I remember Jeremy was super into it for one of the Game Boy Advance ones, and I believe I have that one on 3DS just from the Ambassador program.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the games. And now I like I
Stone,
haven't
I
started
think,
or
is
anything, but
Sacred Stones is the one if it has a subtitle. If it doesn't have a subtitle, then it's just Fire Emblem. Which is
yeah, it's Sacred.
It's
Sacred
Fire Emblem
Stone.
7,
Jesus.
but that's the
That
first one they brought
bullshit.
out
Yeah.
over here. So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
Fire Emblem.
Ridiculous.
It's more hilarious because it's like a sequel. Like the previous, it's about like I don't remember if it's like the father or the kids of the characters from the last game.
Hmm.
Like I don't remember if Ephraim is like Roy's father or his son or something. I don't remember if it's a prequel or a sequel. But it's one of those. Hilariously, they didn't bring over the one that had the character from Smash Brothers in it. They brought over the other one. The later one. Just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But yeah, I would try that
maybe
because that's
one of those
the
someday.
Fire Emblem's what got me into tactical games.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah, I mean it's probably like anything else. You got to get used to it, right? Or like
Sure.
at least a little bit, like to get familiar with that style of thing.
I guess. I don't know. The thing I liked about Fire Emblem was the idea that like every one of your dudes weren't like nameless. Like they all had their little story. They were all a character, and that they mattered. That was
Yeah.
what was appealing about it to me
Yeah.
when I was like reading about GBA games, looking for like when I would go through every GBA game review on GameSpot, and like try to find neat things that I hadn't heard of before.
Hmm.
And like everything's rated a 7 or an 8, so gotta gotta dig.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hit and sometimes you don't. Like there are definitely some like RPGs I picked up and I was like, sucks. This is boring. Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem I really liked. Despite like the first one I played has like a really fucking dumb framing device where like you are playing like a tactician character. So all the characters talk to you, the player,
Oh.
and
Okay.
it's kind of annoying that they're all talking to you
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
because your character doesn't have like a sprite or like they have like a model, but in like the portrait mode, they're just literally talking directly at the camera, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas like then Sacred Stones doesn't have like they did that to make it more accessible for like the Western market because that was the one they brought over, I think. And the next game just doesn't have that. Like it's literally just these character stories, and you don't have a character. You're like following different. You even like follow different ones at different points in the story.
Hmm. Yeah.
Jump
No.
between.
The story base, like the character
I guess
based
technically you
things,
jump
is.
between characters and the other one too.
Hmm. Yeah. That's what always seemed interesting about it. But yeah. Yeah. Maybe someday. Probably not, but maybe someday.
Probably not, because you
I
don't play
mean,
video
like,
games. You
I
play
mean,
No
like,
Drift.
no, the problem is I play like 2 minutes of games and I realize it's not filling the void and I move on to the next one.
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. That's fair.
Sometimes shit clicks, but eh.
Just go back to
Anyway.
Isaac.
Yeah, just right
More
on
than
fucking
Isaac.
back to Isaac. I did uninstall it for a while, so I couldn't do that. But that game is just
I mean, that game can't take too long to install.
no, it does not. But it's just
Yeah, and
it's
I mean, I understand. I always have a game that is this is the thing I go to, and it's been Arena since Arena came out.
mhm.
Before that, it was Heroes of the Storm that I would just play all the
Yeah.
time. But it's usually for me. For me, the thing that I kind of don't like, I'm way more likely to spend forever in a multiplayer game of some kind. The idea
Mhm.
that I'm like crushing or being crushed by some person is way more appealing to me than and like this thing that was built to be beaten, I guess.
See, I've gone the opposite way. I've like even with like first person shooters cuz that was my like that's what I fucking played for a long time. On
Yeah.
Xbox and then into PC like Halo and then Battlefield and Titanfall and shit. Um that's like my jam and that's still one of the genres of games that I'm like better at. I'm pretty decent still at FPS, but I just got so sick of losing and like too many games do not. Titanfall is decent about it as I recall and some others are, but like when I perform well but like I lose and it's a team thing, that pisses me off. Or like Arena, like I get super heated very quickly. And I don't know why, because like logically, again, like it's whatever, it doesn't matter. There's functionally no difference between getting beaten by a person and just losing a run of Isaac. But I don't know. I've like tried to. I've stayed away. I've ended up like gradually staying farther away from multiplayer games like that. Like stuff like Battlegrounds is fine because it's RNG essentially, but
Yeah, I mean,
in
like
general.
if it's your comfort game, it depends how your brain lines up with that shit, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And my brain just lines up better with fucking
yeah.
doing multiplayer shit. Again, same like reason why I preferred always to play like WoW and like Skyrim never appealed to me
Hmm.
as like because it's like a big empty world in my eyes because there are no other people there.
Yeah.
There's like writing and stuff, but it's not like
Skyrim.
that's not destroying human beings.
I I started Skyrim a bit ago. Not. I mean, it was quite long ago now, but first time in how many years? For how much time I put into that game, I had completely forgotten like the first chunk of it. I stepped out of the cave and I'm like, where the fuck am I? What is this? Like, just had no memory. It was pretty funny.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you never go back to that starting area after you're out of there.
I guess. I suppose the starting area, that combined with, I'm sure after a certain point, I probably only used alternate start mods, so that probably would have done it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
That's fair.
Anyway, it's been a chunky amount of time.
Yeah.
Again, like I would be down to keep going, but I'm getting that hunger.
That's fair.
I haven't eaten all day.
We'll come back with like a real topic at some point.
Eventually, next year.
True.
My favorite joke.
Well, it might not be next year by the time someone listens to this, though.
That's true.
'Cause even if like I post it now or whatever, which I don't think I'm gonna.
Yeah, good point. Next year from time of recording.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
No fucking outros.
Yeah, fuck
Do your own
outros.
research.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye.